Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Hello everyone! Welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for The Flash Season 1, Episode 22, Rogue Air. I'm your host Clio, and with me I have Dom.
Hey! How's it going?
Good. How'd you like this episode?
It's getting intense.
Crazy.
It's getting intense.
It starts off crazy because Eobard, the reverse Flash, is narrating, and I'm like, no, stop it. No.
It's so
Get out of my...
intense. It's so intense. It is so intense I should be watching this while camping.
While camping? Intense. Oh my god. Yep, okay. Well, Cisco finds...
Me and Cisco would be best buddies with these puns.
Who? You and Cisco?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. But Cisco finds... When Cisco was sitting in Wells's wheelchair, I was like, oh no, don't be getting, like, attached or nothing, or feeling them bad feelings. But he just figured out there was a tachyon thing inside it.
Yeah, a little tachyon cube.
So he's been literally just sitting on the Speed Force this whole time.
I was like, this has to be left here intentionally. Like, there's no way that something this powerful Wells would just accidentally leave behind. Like, he left that intentionally.
Yeah. And I don't know why? Did he want Cisco to use it?
See, I don't know if he wants Cisco to use it, or the fact that when they catch him, the first place they're going to bring him is in the lab. And if he has a brief moment, can get it and do whatever he needs.
Yeah. But I feel like at this point...
I don't know if he thought that they were going to discover it. That's the thing. I don't think he factored that in. I think he just left it somewhere that was convenient for him to... like, accessible for him.
Oh, so you think that's the same thing he had on his chest in a previous episode?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was a different one, like a secondary one. But you're right, because they didn't find the first one.
Right.
So it might just be the same one.
Yeah, they found the suit and everything, but they didn't find the cube. Yeah.
Okay, alright. I didn't think of that. I thought it was a different one, but... Wait, no, but Barry said they found one in Gideon.
Yes, that is in Gideon. That's Gideon's power supply.
Oh.
That's what operates Gideon. That's how Gideon is here.
Then I don't know.
I mean, I'm curious if tachyon cubes are like the power source of the future, because they're just kind of lying around right now. You know, Gideon's got one, no big deal. Wells is powering his wheelchair with one, no big deal. That wheelchair should have gone a hell of a lot faster than what it was going. Just saying.
That would have blown his cover.
He's a scientist. Nobody would have thought twice about it.
So Wells, he activated the accelerator, right? And that
he did.
Yeah. So what he wanted to do with it, he wasn't able to do yet. What do you think he wants to do with it?
I think he wants to just activate it and give more people powers.
Yeah, like a second wave of metas.
Yeah, and that's potentially how Cisco and Caitlin get powers.
But that doesn't explain how our I-beam friend has his.
No. It does not.
It doesn't. And I was a little disappointed we didn't get much about his character. Still don't remember his name. Should have looked it up, but I still don't remember his name.
I don't know, but I know that Cisco did actually give the Golden Glider her name.
Yeah.
You know, that was good.
Yeah.
That like awkward.
Since you jumped there, let's talk about Cisco and Lisa. I don't know how I feel about this.
That awkward, like, Cisco trying to play it off cool, but at the same time he's just not cool about it. It was great. It's classic Cisco.
I love it. He's like, I really don't like being the good guy today. I like being one of the good guys today.
Yeah. Except he's never been a bad guy, so.
Yeah, that's true. But like when Lisa first started being like, ooh, I was like, hold up. Don't fuck with Cisco again. But I don't know. It seems like she's legitimately flirting with him.
I don't know if it's...
I might be okay with.
Yeah, see, yeah, it is legitimate flirting, but I don't know if it's flirting just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Or if she actually has feelings. That's the difference.
That's the question.
I'm gonna go with just the fun of it right now.
If it's the latter, then I'm totally cool with it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
But that whole thing was really interesting, because at first I was like really protective. I'm like, no, back off, bitch.
Nobody comes between you and your Cisco.
No, nobody messes with my Cisco. Because I thought she was gonna like mess with him.
And Dr. Wells already did that though.
I know.
So
that's why I'm
apparently
like,
somebody does do that.
That's why I'm like, don't do it no more. Stab it. But yeah, I really liked that whole dynamic this episode. It was really interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's talk about S.T.A.R. Barry goes to ask S.T.A.R for help. Bad idea, obviously, but...
The little talk that he had with Joe, though, really kind of put things into perspective. And it was just like, you know, you're not the Arrow. You're not Oliver, whatever. You're not Ollie. And, and it's just like, yeah, okay, so that is the big difference here. This is a move right out of Ollie's playbook. Like, it's something that I could see Ollie doing.
I honestly don't think Ollie would do that, but that's just me.
Yeah, it seems, if you look at the two characters, though, Barry and Ollie, the one that I think is more plausible to do it, ironically enough, is Ollie, which is the one that you said you can't see doing it, and Barry is the one that actually did it. And, you know, I can't see...
I agree with Joe in the fact that Ollie would take a less clear-cut good way to do something if it was the only way to get it done.
Yeah.
And the only reason Barry did it was because he thought that that would be something that Ollie would do. And because Ollie, from Barry's perspective, Ollie always saves the day. And if you watch Arrow, like, Ollie is constantly like, oh, what? No. Like, things don't really work out for Ollie a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So, but from Barry's perspective, it's like he idolizes Ollie.
He does. He really does. He looks up to Ollie. And, I don't know, just the way that Ollie came in this episode, I was disappointed.
We have to save that for the last. We can't talk about that yet. That has to be last.
Okay.
I have a lot of opinions.
I was still disappointed.
I know.
We'll move on.
We're gonna save it for last.
Yes.
But yeah, S.T.A.R ended up just like, you didn't see it coming. I'm the bad guy. You're just mad at yourself.
I didn't see it coming.
I don't know. See, I don't know. Because I want to say I saw it coming, but I didn't. But I wasn't surprised when it happened. I was just
was surprised. That's the difference here. I guess I'm more... like, when somebody gives their word on something...
Are you more the Barry and I'm more the Ollie?
Maybe. No, but when somebody gives their word on something, I'm more likely to believe them until they give me a reason not to. So, I didn't have any reason to distrust him. Yes, he's a villain, but he gave his word. So, he said he's a man of his word. He's loyal. I can only take that at face value. So, I have no choice but to believe him.
Yeah.
And then he's now gone back on it. You know, I don't disagree with him. It is in his interest not to do what Barry wanted him to do. You know, all the things all the points he made to Barry 100% make sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not what I wanted to happen, but
No.
it makes sense from Snart's point of view. It just means I can't trust Snart ever again. That's all.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the exact same for Team Flash. If you know, Cole comes with anything else, even if Lisa comes with anything else,
Right.
they're not going to be able to trust either of them.
And I think that's because of the relationship that Lisa has with Cisco. The relationship, it's in quotation fingers.
The flirty flirts.
Yes. I think it's going to actually come to that.
Yeah.
When she's going to come to them sincerely, and it's not going to work.
No. But I think I could be completely wrong.
It may not be next week, but
no, it's definitely not going to be next week.
Yeah, but it'll happen at some point.
So someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Golden Glider is a flip-floppy character. Like, she falls on both sides of the good and bad line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's completely possible that she can be like, hey, I'm kind of sick of my brother being a douchebag. Can we, like, can I join you guys?
Yeah, the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. I absolutely love the brother-sister relationship, though, because it reminds me a little bit of me and my brother, where we will, like, constantly make fun of each other. Like, he called her a train wreck, and I had to pause the video. I was laughing so hard, because it's, like, something me and my brother say to each other.
Yeah. See, I think the reason that I trusted S.T.A.R. is actually because of the relationship. And when he said, somebody's like, there's no reason for the mask or whatever, but S.T.A.R. goes, I'm a man of my word. When I said that I wouldn't tell anyone your identity, that includes my sister. And she gave, like, a quip that she fired right back at him where it seemed legit. Like, this wasn't staged. This was just the way they are. So
I really think that she doesn't know.
Yeah, so I'm 100% under the impression that she did not know. And because he never told her, and he's a man of his word, so to speak, that's why I trusted him. Was that little scene right there.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And maybe I probably did think that he was on the up, but when it was revealed, I was not surprised.
Yeah. I
think because I am a little familiar with the comic book and TV version.
I should have been not surprised, but I was not surprised.
Yeah. So, they want... The whole point of the movement of the metas was to move them to Lian Yu, which is a prison that Argus, the organization Argus, uses in Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's also where they sent Boomerang.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
Yeah. But the problem I have here is, in this season of Arrow, Ollie went back to the island.
Okay.
And saw Slade, who was locked up there. Slade was in a cell, and there were 2 empty cells. Boomerang wasn't there. Unless there are multiple, like, little
floors.
bunkers in the island, Boomerang wasn't there. So
okay.
These little bits of the tie-ins is like, Boomerang should have been in that episode of Arrow when Ollie went to the island again.
Right.
He should have been there, but he wasn't. And I'm wondering if he is actually there and they just didn't have the actor for that episode of Arrow.
Could be. I'm probably going to say, I mean, this is just me speculating because I haven't seen the prison, obviously. But there may be different wings of the prison, like detention block A, B, C, D, kind of. So just because it's one room kind of thing does not mean on the other side of a hill that there's not another building, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, they went all the way to Coast City, all the way to Ferris Air for to put the metas on a plane. And did you catch a bigger DC Universe nod that they made when they were at the airfield?
No, but can I just guess Batman?
No.
Okay.
The airfield had been shut down since a pilot went missing. That pilot is Hal Jordan, who goes missing because he becomes Green Lantern and has to go train with the Green Lantern Corps.
Oh.
So in this universe right now, Green Lantern is already Green Lantern.
Huh.
I lost my mind. I was like, that's Hal! They're talking about Hal!
Wow.
So
That's kind of crazy, just because we know that they're pretty much building the foundation for the Justice League based on like all these spin-offs that they're doing.
yeah.
Like, we know that there's a Supergirl spin-off thing happening. It's not on the CW. It's on, what, CBS or something?
Yeah, but it's part of the same verse.
Yeah, it's in the same universe. There's, what was the cartoon that's coming out?
Vixen.
Vixen cartoon that's, potential for crossovers.
Yes.
And,
Both Flash and Arrow are going to be on the Vixen cartoon, and that actress who voices Vixen is probably going to be in future seasons of Flash and Arrow.
yeah, so that'll be awesome. And we know we're getting a Flash and Arrow mid-season break spin-off kind of thing. So there's a lot
like
of...
a whole season, a half season.
I think it's going to be like a 13-episode miniseries kind of thing.
I'm cool with that. Cool with that.
Think of it like Agent Carter.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's telling you a story, but it's gonna be a complete isolated story. But I mean, it's gonna have to tie into both Flash and Arrow.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be very interesting. I can't wait. So, and the Argus plane gets shot down. And I'm just like, are the Argus agents dead? Okay, they're all right. We're fighting now. Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked. I'm like, is this people that Ollie knows? Like, is this gonna be bad?
Probably not directly. I mean, Lila definitely wasn't on the plane. Like, Lila probably just went, "Yo, boss, here's the sitch. Go send a plane."
Yeah, and the colonel, lieutenant, whatever he was that we just saw last week, I'm sure he was not on that plane either. Because we know Argus was covering up his whereabouts.
Yeah.
So we think he's connected to Argus.
Yeah, and I can't say my theory further, because it would spoil Arrow. But I did go into my theory on Arrow about how involved Ealing is in Argus and why.
Interesting. Yeah, make sure guys you check out Cleo's. She's over there. Her one-woman podcast on Arrow.
Yes. Yeah, did you have anything else to say about that before we move on to, like, the... Oh, no, we still have to talk about Iris. Forgot about Iris. Yes,
but, I forget, I was going to say something about the plane, I don't remember now. Go ahead, it'll probably come to me.
About the plane... I don't know.
I don't know either.
I loved that Iris came to the rescue and just bonked Peekaboo in the back of the head.
What's her name?
Peekaboo?
That's her name? Her name is Peekaboo?
That's her code name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Obviously I remember her, but I didn't remember her name.
I don't remember her name. I remembered her code name.
Yeah.
I think Cisco came up with it, and she said it. Like, when she got let out of the cage, she's like, Peekaboo. And she popped up in Caitlin's face or something.
See, yeah. Cisco goes with the more realistic names, like... Peekaboo, like, you're here, you're not, I'm hiding, whatever. Me, I would call her Hayden Christensen.
That was a terrible fucking movie.
It was, but that's all I would be able to think about when watching her do that.
What's the name of the movie?
Jumper,
right. It's a terrible movie.
It was, so, I mean, I would just call her Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
So, me and Cisco are on similar wavelengths, but and the funny thing is, he bases everything off TV and movies too.
Exactly.
So I mean,
you guys are just
there's a connection there, but his names are a little more literal than what mine would be.
You guys would have a whole conversation that nobody else on Team Flash would understand.
Yeah, like there's actually like a little game that I play that it's like you have like it's kind of like Pokemon where you have things that battle each other, little creatures. And I have one that's like a black ghost. And I named it why can't I think of the name of it? I named it...
Is it actually Pokemon, or is it...
No, it's something similar. I forget the actual name of it. But I'm looking up. I got the name right here. So hold on. I named it Elliot Hopper. All right.
Oh,
And the
okay.
reason I named it Elliot Hopper because it's this little black ghost, and I'm like going through ghost names in my head, and I'm like, the only black ghost I know is Bill Cosby's ghost in Ghost Dad, and that's the name of the character in Ghost Dad. So I named that ghost Elliot Hopper. So yeah, me and Cisco would get along great, but mine would be a little more obscure names than his, but they're in the same wavelength.
Yeah, that's really funny. So they rescue Eddie. Eddie's okay, and Iris is still very committed to him, which is admirable. But Eddie just like shuts it down.
Yeah. I have issues with that.
How? What issues?
It all comes back to time travel.
Yeah?
Because I still want to know how time travel works.
Yeah.
And I don't have a... We have a lot of theories. We don't have a lot of concrete stuff. And it goes back to what Cisco said about reading the newspaper article and seeing the white thing on the logo. Did we change it because we see it in this? Is it a cause and effect reaction thing?
Yeah.
So like has why did I just space on his name?
Eddie?
Eddie.
Earbird?
Yes, Eddie. Like does Eddie not end up with Iris because he was told the future, and is this a cause and effect kind of situation? Or did it always play out, I mean, like, obviously, if that's the same thing, if it always played out that way. Or if this is a direct result of Wells, a.k.a. Eobard, altering the timeline.
Yeah, well, it obviously... Their entire relationship is a result of Eobard entering the timeline.
Yeah.
Because Barry being unconscious is why she starts dating Eddie. Because, like she said, Barry wasn't around and she made stupid decisions.
Right.
Or what she called stupid decisions.
Right, so in the timeline that Wells is from, the newspaper article could have been the product that she had never met Eddie, and he's only throwing that in his face based on that.
Yes.
And he's going to the same conclusion.
I think we have to look at it like if Eddie had seen that newspaper article and the article was fake, but somehow he believed it was true, then he would still be breaking up with Iris.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's weird, and we're gonna hate to say it, but we are probably going to get more questions than answers about time travel as we move forward. I'm sorry, Dom. We're both gonna have...
I feel like, and I'm pretty sure I said this on a previous podcast, I think this season is going to end with Barry saving his mother. I
fucking hate you because you're right.
And...
Because the promo for next week has Barry standing over his not dead mother. And I was like, I watched the promo and I was like, son of a bitch. And my mom goes, what? I hate it when Dom's right.
So does your mom know who I am?
Yes.
I've never met her.
My mom knows who you are.
I've never met her. So the fact that she knows all about me just does not inflate my ego any more than it already has.
I don't think she's watched any of our shows.
No.
But since I talk aloud to the TV when she's in the room,
right?
Our theories come up.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, Dom's the guy you do the podcast with." I'm like, "Yes."
So
and I argue with constantly.
This is basically going to be another season 5 finale of Lost, where it's just like, does this do anything? Or it's like, yes. What? And yeah.
Yes. Exactly what this is going to be like.
You can't do this. I'm already mad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we come to the end of the episode. Barry goes to face down Wells and is joined by Ollie and Firestorm. Now, what were you going to say before I told you to hold up? Oh. You were going to say something about Ollie.
Yeah, Ollie just kind of like dropped in out of the sky, and I was just like, I was hoping for like a little more build up.
hoping for a little more. Why the fuck are you here when there are very important things going on in Starling City that you should be taking care of?
Yeah. See, I don't know what's going on over there.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
Right. But it's just...
literally the entire city could die and Ollie came to help out a bro. It's like, what are you doing?
Maybe Barry's gonna return the favor and show up in the Arrow finale?
I mean, maybe. I wanted to have watched the Arrow finale by now, but I was not able to. So I'm going to watch it tomorrow. Hope I don't get too mad. But the thing about these crossovers with Ollie is that in the beginning of the first half of these seasons, it was great. It was amazing. And these last two crossovers just don't fit. They don't fit right.
This one definitely did not. Though I thought the one with the Atom fit pretty well.
It fit pretty well, but the thing was, before they left First Central City, a dramatic thing happened, and in the episode where they came to Central City, it seemed like that thing was just glazed over and their relationship was fine. And then when they came back, it was brought up again. And I'm like, so you just totally ignored it? And now it's coming up? Why? What? That didn't make sense to me. To the point where I was like, did they air these out of order?
It could just be... So I've had a really awkward situation with a relationship before, where we literally were in the middle of a huge blowout, right? Huge blowout. The worst, like, nuclear meltdown blowout, right? And one of our friends just popped over. Unannounced, unexpected, in the middle of it. We caught it, caught him showing up, coming up, so did not hear any of it. And we acted like absolutely nothing happened. We went out to dinner. We were joking and laughing with each other. We had a great time. We met up with two of our other friends out to dinner. Had like this amazing, like just awesome night. And then as soon as we got home, just unhit the pause button and went right back to our fight. So I'm not gonna say that it
wasn't like that. That's
right.
Not like it was.
Right.
But
so, I mean, I could kind of see where you're going somewhere else and you have other people around. So, like, I don't watch Arrow, so I don't know exactly what you're talking about. But if they're having issues with something and then they go somewhere else, they probably are not going to discuss that in front of other people. So,
yeah,
I'm assuming what you're talking about. This is just complete assumption, guessing, is between Ollie and Felicity.
No, it was between Ray and Felicity.
Okay.
But yeah, it caught me, like, in the beginning of the episode off guard. I was like, did they air this out of order? And then at the end of the episode, I was just like, this was in the right order, but they just kind of waited to have it be resolved.
Yeah.
The thing about Ollie coming onto this episode is the end of the last episode of Arrow, crazy cliffhanger, where it's something that Ollie probably wouldn't just have walked away from to go do something else.
Right.
So the beginning of this Arrow episode better give me a damn good explanation.
Well, you're also under the assumption that everything that we're watching is happening in real time, where that might not necessarily be true.
Well, maybe not real time, but definitely in the right sequence.
You're right, that may not even be the case, though.
But from last week's Arrow to this week's Arrow, it's not that much time. So you don't think that this episode of Flash fits in between those two Arrow episodes?
Not necessarily, no. So if you're saying there's not a whole bunch of time where it literally could have been minutes or hours apart, this episode could technically be after the aftermath.
But every crossover we've had so far
has lined up. Right.
Lined up.
Right. No, I'm not saying that those were not in the timeline, but we just don't know in terms of how the time is passing. I'm not dismissing that they might not be in real time, because it's definitely plausible just based on everything we saw. But all I'm saying is we don't know the exact time that all this is going down.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt until after everything is aired and we have explanations, because there's many times where we jump to conclusions about things and we don't like how certain things unfold, only to find out in an episode or two everything is okay again.
I understand we have had issues like this in the past, but what I'm saying is that when you're watching a serial television show,
right,
what happens right now is important, and if what is happening doesn't make sense or is sometimes that's not a good thing.
So let's say I don't know what's going on in Arrow. So here's my thing. Let's say the Arrow episode that you watched, whatever, that you said, but ended on a big cliffhanger. If that episode ended on a cliffhanger of this is just completely random thing, so it's not what really happened. But if it ends with like Ollie pulling back an arrow and he's about to launch it and the arrow doesn't go off, right? And it just that's how the episode ends. And then we go into the Flash, which we're assuming is in real time based on whatever. And then the next Arrow episode comes out and Ollie releases the thing and the episode starts off that way. They're obviously, and if Ollie was in the Flash episode, there obviously has to be some time discrepancy there. So it couldn't possibly be in real time. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, and I understand if time has passed, but I just think that they're airing these episodes purposefully.
Right.
And if it doesn't fall between the two episodes it's supposed to fall between, they didn't do their job. And I know I'm overly critical of a lot of things, but
No, I agree with you, because I actually had to deal with the exact same conundrum last year with the Vampire Diaries and the originals, because they had an intertwining story of characters that crossed back and forth on the two shows, much like Flash and Arrow is doing. And there was a general threat that actually affected both shows. And it was hard to figure out exactly how they were lining up and what was actually in real time and what not. For the majority, it was in real time, whatever happened on one show and then happened next week. They happened in sequence, but then there was one time where it slipped out of order, and it was just the way the timeline ended up falling. Like, one episode of Vampire Diaries was like a week later, and then 2 episodes in a row of the originals took place like an hour after each other. So it's just it's weird.
Yeah. I won't, like, I'll never mention it again if the first 10 minutes of Arrow makes me feel better.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
If it doesn't, then I'm sorry, people who watch my Arrow podcast, but I'm going to be yelling.
I can't. I'm probably going to watch this podcast then. I'm probably going to watch just to see if you start yelling.
So we were actually talking last week about how you were not happy that Ollie was going to come on because you thought that this whole season was going to be spoiled for you. And I was like, yes, Ollie's going to, like, Ollie coming on can't not spoil everything. But there was nothing. He gave us nothing.
I was pleased with that because I want to catch up on Arrow. I want to catch up on Arrow. And the other thing is, when I watch Arrow, I'm not going to be rewatching The Flash again, so I have to mentally keep notes of when about approximately this stuff is falling into the timeline, because I'm going to be aware of, the crossovers and stuff, and I'm going to end up skipping the Arrow episode that had the Flash crossover. I'm not going to rewatch that episode because I did watch it. So I'm just going to skip it entirely because I remember everything that happened. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to catch up this summer. So, but I'm glad. Thank you, Ollie, for not spoiling things for me. I mean, there's still time because we don't know if Ollie's gonna be in the finale of Flash. He may have time to spoil things for me.
That's true.
Don't do it, Ollie.
So next and last episode.
Don't say that.
Of this season.
You're breaking my heart.
It's coming back in the mid. Calm down. It's coming back next season.
Don't go breaking my heart.
Fast enough. The Flash. Wait, what? The Flash Wells Oh, Wells presents Barry. I'm sorry. There was no punctuation where there should have been punctuation. Wells presents Barry with a life-changing choice. Dr. Martin Stein and Rodney Raymond return to help S.T.A.R Labs team with this final fight. That's it.
Yeah, and
all we got.
Rodney was another thing. Like, he just showed up, and I was like, please, just like, is it that hard to set something up? Like, I know there's a lot going on.
I super duper loved the fight, though.
Oh no, the fight was great.
Like the nanite arrow, I thought that was genius.
I had no clue what Ollie was talking about. I just accepted it.
Oh, do you want me to tell you?
Sure.
The Atom has nanites, like these microscopic little bots.
Okay.
And he might have tweaked them, but what they do is they shrink matter. So he might have tweaked them to make Wells slow.
Yeah, I mean,
or inhibit his.
The robot bees that we saw, did they have any kind of nanite technology or anything in them?
Yeah, they were little robots, so
yeah.
I guess they were a little different. They weren't nanites.
Right. Similar concept, though, I guess. I don't know. I thought they mentioned nanites in that episode.
They did because Cisco and Ray, who's the Atom, were putting nanites into the suit in order to make it run better.
Right. Okay. That's why I remember them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I really liked that fight at the end. It was done very well, but then I was just like, Ollie, what are you doing?
It just comes down in like this bedazzled hood, and I'm just like,
it's a studded hood.
Yeah, I'm like,
well,
what?
I'm familiar with that hood, so.
Because I know that I showed you a picture of Ollie in that hood. Maybe
really funny.
Maybe 5 or 6 episodes ago.
Yeah.
And you like freaked out because it was a major spoiler on Arrow apparently, and I'm just like, he's just got this like studded hood on. What's the big deal?
I'm like, no, that gives me an answer to what he's gonna do, and you're just like, oh. I was like, no, I know. It's like it ended up not being a big deal because the next day it was in a promo. Him in that hood, so I was like, well, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was just, I was like, okay.
But I like flipped. I was like, oh my god! Turned out to not be a big deal at all.
Well, that's good. Because I did not feel bad in the slightest. Maybe a little, actually.
Wait to watch Arrow, to watch The Last Flash. I am so excited. I hate that you're gonna be right. I hate that you're gonna be right.
See, I don't want to watch this episode at all.
Why?
Because then it's over.
It's not over. The show's coming back.
I know, but it's over for a really long time.
Well, then you can watch Arrow in the meantime. It'll be fine.
I can.
You'll be fine.
It's not the same.
It's really not.
No, it's not at all. Because like I tried to watch Arrow. I got 3 episodes in, and I'm like, this is not the same as The Flash at all.
I love Arrow. I mean, honestly, Arrow has its own set of charms. It's not.
Right. Yeah.
It's definitely not.
It's a darker, grittier kind of story, which is fine. I like that, but I think at
the same time, it is campy. Like it is. Yeah. It does not take itself too seriously.
Yeah, well, the earlier episodes do, and I think that was my major problem, is because I was watching it in the middle of really enjoying The Flash, and I was on like this super high from The Flash, and I was like, oh, I need more of everything. I want to see how Barry was in on this, because I know he was in like Backdoor Pilots and this and that, and I was like, I really just want to see all this, and then I'm like, but I have to sit through all this, and then it was the 3rd episode, and I got like halfway through it, and I found myself like looking at Facebook on my phone, and I'm just like, and then I'm like 20 minutes into the episode, I'm like, I don't know anything that happened this episode. I should just stop watching because this is not benefiting me right now. So I gotta go in. I'm gonna wait a little bit, like let a month or 2 go by when all our shows are done, and I'm just like sitting there bored out of my mind.
Like the Flash itch, you're like,
yeah.
I'm gonna watch the Flash.
It's not just the Flash; it's just because every show will be done. So
I know.
There's really not a lot that I watch during the summer, and so I think I'll breeze through the. What is it? 4 seasons of Arrow?
3.
3.
Yeah, this season is the 3rd season.
Okay.
So not that many.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Barry's mom.
Yes.
That's the one reason why I really want to watch it now. It's just so I could be like, haha, I was right.
I mean, we know you're right. They showed it in the promo. We know you're right. I hate that you're right.
I typically am, so you usually just hate me all the time.
John, where can the people find you?
You could find me down below at Phenomenon, where I'm always right.
Phenomenon, do. You can find me and Cleomoto on the socials and on Twitch at the Cleomoto. You can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Gmail, Twitter, Google+, MySpace, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for some more podcasts from some of your favorite TV shows. Until next week when Dom is unfortunately right. Bye-bye. Asshole.
Come on. I'm always right, Cleo, and you know it. That's when you hate me the most. If I had to weigh your hatred, it'd be like, normally, on a normal scale, it's probably about like a 30% love, a 70% hate. And then when I'm unquestionably right, it's like 0% love, 100% hate. It's like you are Emperor Palpatine.
Well, I don't know if it would be 100%. I don't think I've ever hated anybody 100%, especially any of my friends.
Just in the moment. Just in the moment.
99.9, perhaps, is as high as it goes.
Well, I have a new goal. It's to cap out at 100%.
Get that 0.01%.
And I know when I can do it. On the season finale of Supernatural. That's when I will achieve 100%.